Hello everyone, on this episode of Interviewing Plushtubers, our guest will be Super Mario134. How are you doing today, man?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I'm doing pretty well as well. I think we can just start on this first question. We can get to the roots of Super Mario 134, which is you're an OG Plushtuber as you've been around for over 15 years. So I gotta ask, how did you get introduced to Mario as well as the plush community, and which Plushtubers would you say inspired you?
That's a fantastic question. Let's see. So, when I was about 5 years old, I grew up with the Nintendo 64. It was originally my older brother's console, but I grew up playing that with him. So, that was kind of my first introduction to Mario. Pretty sure that was my first game, too. Let's see, what else? When it came to introducing myself into the plush community, I remember going on YouTube as early as 2005, 2006, and watching a channel by the name of Mario8989, which is nowadays called the Cute Mario Bros. So they were the first plush tubers I watched, along with, I think, early Super Mario Logan as well. And yeah, just kind of, I always liked doing videos of my Mario characters. I just never knew that there was an actual, like, community for it. And then when I found out about YouTube, I just thought, hey, maybe I could do the same. And as far as inspirations go, definitely would have to say the Cute Mario Bros. Were my biggest inspiration.
Alright, I see. Yeah, Cute Mario Bros. I think is a lot of people's big inspiration. I've heard a lot of people say that one. But, I mean, I think they definitely inspired a lot of people. Alright, I think we should get to your most popular series, which is, how did you come up with the Cooking with Chef Mario idea, and how did you initially react to the viral success of your first episode in the series?
Oh, that's a very good question. Well, when I was a kid, I actually loved cooking, and I wanted to be a chef when I was a kid. So I used to watch a lot of like cooking shows, and there was this one show which is super not familiar with a lot of people because it's very niche, but it was called Pasquale's Kitchen Express, which was a Canadian Italian cooking show with this one chef that would like he looks exactly like your stereotypical Italian chef, like big hat, was like singing opera while cooking and just like having a good time. And I just loved the vibe of that. So I kind of just thought to myself, why not do a cooking show and combine two of my favorite things, which is cooking and like, Super Mario. So naturally it just came to be really. So it just kind of like, yeah, let's do a cooking show using Super Mario characters. And thus Cooking with Chef Mario was born. And as far as when the success happened, oh, I did not anticipate that. Like, my mom and I made the original video together. She helped me make the costume, and yeah, it was just really funny. We were just like, yeah, this will be funny. Like, I don't think really anybody's done like a cooking channel with like Mario before, and I've always thought it'd be cool. Then I blink my eyes, and next thing you know, the video reached 1 million views, and I'm like, oh my god, 1 million people have seen our kitchen. And my mom's like, holy, like, that's insane. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty crazy. I never would have thought in 1 million years. And then here we are now, fast forward 15 or a few years later, or quite a few years later, and we're like we've surpassed 18 million views now, and it's like, that's insane. I just never thought that would ever happen.
Ah, I see, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the video blew up. I see many people say it's their childhood, it's a part of their nostalgia. I mean, it's a very nostalgic video, very classic Mario plush community, if you will. That's what people would probably describe it as, but yeah, it's a very original idea, I'd say, yeah.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool that you got inspired by a cooking show and a passion for cooking, combined the two with Mario plush videos and just got at it. That's pretty fantastic. Well,
Thank you.
throughout the years, you've made a lot of content in different locations at different times of the day, and some of it was probably harder to make, some easier. But if you had to choose, what would be the hardest video you've ever had to film, and why that video in particular?
That is a good question. There's been a couple that come to mind, but I think one of them was now it's no longer on YouTube because of copyright, but I'm looking to re-upload it. But it was a Mario and Luigi's Vacation, and that was kind of hard because just I was very nervous filming in public at that time, and I never liked seeing having people see me film. I think that a lot of plush tubers, or at least most of them, agree it's kind of hard because I get nervous and I don't want people to see me doing it, really, if that makes sense. Now I don't really care as much, but yeah, it was really hard to do that because there was a lot of public space that I wanted to use, but I had to get up like really early in the morning around the resort in Cuba to film the video, and it was really hard just doing that, especially getting up early and doing it. And then I think another difficult, as far as like a Chef Mario, like that was the most difficult, I think. That is a tough one. Like, honestly, I can't recall which recipe would have been the most difficult, but I think the apple pie episode was kind of tough. I remember feeling that was kind of hard because the crust was really difficult to make, and there was a point where we were just having such a difficult time with the crust. It was like, oh my god, it's never gonna work, but it thankfully did. Just had a bit of an issue with it.
I see. Yeah, it's definitely not very easy filming at early hours of the time, I think, and definitely, recipes, you've had a lot of recipes, so obviously some are not gonna go as well as others, but I mean, yeah, that makes sense, I'd say. Um, yeah, well, obviously, I don't even remember how many exactly Chef Mario videos you've done, but it's a lot. There's a lot of it. Yeah, it's a big series, but well, you've been on YouTube for over a decade and a half, so obviously you've learned a lot of skills and gained a lot of knowledge, whether in editing quality, filming style, making thumbnails, and etc. But I assume you didn't have all those skills back when you first started, so I gotta ask, is there any skill or piece of knowledge you wish you would have learned earlier in your YouTube career than you did, and maybe what would it be?
Absolutely. Actually, funny story. On my very, very early videos, the ones I call the dark era of my YouTube career, I never really learned how to stop and record videos. Like, I knew how to stop the videos, but I never knew how to put them on a computer and put them in one video file. So I'd actually literally put my hand in front of the camera, make it go black, and just almost act like that's like the transition to the next scene, which was really, really so weird because it looks horrible, but I just at the time only had a flip cam, and I didn't really know how to upload videos onto a computer and actually edit them and put them in sequence. So yeah, if I could go back, I'd be like, it's not that hard. You just literally plug it in and download it to your computer. But I was very young and very not sure what to do.
All right, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, how old were you when you were started? Like when you started, like 13 or something? Like the plush videos?
Yeah, I was like 12, 13 years old. I was pretty young. I mean, I guess one could consider that fairly old for starting YouTube, but I think 12, 13 was the early days.
Yeah. I think you were like, yeah, it was like around 2009 or something that you started, but yeah, it took a bit for the first viral video, but and not that long, but yeah, it's kind of nice to see. But yeah, obviously glad that you learned how to edit afterwards.
Oh, for sure. I don't know how far I would get if I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah, what editing site do you use?
I use combination of iMovie and Final Cut Pro. And a little bit of if I really need to do it intensively, I'll use a little bit of Adobe Premiere.
Ah, I see. Yes, for some of the more difficult scenes, but yeah, I understand that. Yeah, it's pretty. I think that's a pretty good website. No, I don't think I've ever used it, but I know a lot of people that have. Well, now, obviously, you're a YouTuber who makes videos of plushies. I think everyone watching knows that, and you've been doing this for a good while, so I feel like this should be asked. do you have a favorite and least favorite part of making plush videos? And if so, what would those be?
Oh, that's a great question. I think my favorite part is just making fun skits and thinking of stories that I can make Mario go on, because I just love the idea of exploring Mario and having him go on adventures and just kind of interact with the environment, being a plush character. I think there's a lot of fun with that. But I think the most difficult part would have to be the fact that, like, it's hard to record and move the plush characters at the same time, and just there was a time I used to worry about showing my hand in the video. I tried to keep it very much like you don't see it, but I slowly learned that was, or I quickly learned that was just not possible. I have to show my hand. Otherwise, I'm going to hate myself. The shots will look terrible. And honestly, I think the plush community honestly is totally cool with seeing your hand. I think that's part of the charm. Nobody really cares, I think, when they see your hands. In fact, I think it's almost become so understood that that's the way it is. Nobody really questions it anymore.
Alright. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I think Stash Bros still kind of hides their hands sometimes, but I mean, they haven't even uploaded a video in a while. But, yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, you can see people's whole arms sometimes in videos, and even full body, I mean, in, less professional videos, if you would call them that, but yeah, I understand that one. Well, now some of your most popular videos are from over 10 years ago, some are like almost 15 years ago, but speaking in retrospect, what are your thoughts on those videos, and do you wish you could have done anything different in them?
In my older videos, like you're
Yeah.
wondering what I could do differently. I think honestly, I would just try to up my editing a bit more. I feel like now I've learned so much being on the platform for so long. I feel like I could have done a better job when it came to my editing and maybe some of my filming techniques. But for the most part, I think like they're okay. But I definitely would have tried to fix my editing and tried some more funky shots and done a little bit more to make it more interesting.
Yeah, well, obviously in the very, very old videos, you would have probably not done the hand transitions, but,
Yeah, exactly. That's an exact thing right there.
yeah, but, I mean, yeah, I think some of your oldest videos still hold up to some extent, but yeah, your editing has gotten way better from what I've noticed. Yeah,
Thank you. No, I appreciate
yeah,
it.
no problem. But I think everyone who's watching that's a fan of you or has even seen some of your videos, and like compared to your old videos, and has seen like an old video and like a new video, can see a big difference. But
Oh yeah.
honestly,
I certainly would hope so.
yeah, exactly. Well, I think a lot of people have been wanting to hear the answer to this one, the belated question, which is why have you been all gone off the internet, not uploading for over 3 years? And when you do decide to come back, do you plan to keep a consistent schedule?
Absolutely. That is a fantastic question. I've been very busy. A lot of people know, or at least I feel like most people, at least my close friends, know that I work full time now. I'm kind of, I hate to say it, an adult, where I'm working full time and I have responsibilities. That's such a horrible word. I hate it, but yeah, it's keeping me busy on weekdays and weekends. I don't get summer vacation, so the time I would have usually used to make a bunch of videos is not there, but I do plan on returning. I mean, I made a community post, so that is pretty well hinting at something. I think everybody knows what's coming after that. But when I do come back, I'm gonna try to do something. I'm not making any promises because I don't want anything held against me, but I'd like to try to. If you hear screaming, that's my neighbor. Sorry guys, if you hear that. But I would like to try to do at least a video a month and maybe do some live streaming every now and then to just kind of fill the gaps, and so I can talk to my fans and just communicate. Maybe do some silly live streams. I know I did a couple in the past for my birthday, and those were a lot of fun. And I kind of like the idea of doing both because it keeps it interesting for me, not just doing plush videos. And so the live streaming might be a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. Yeah, I've seen some of your streams, but I mean, do you? I mean, if that's not a bit too private to ask, do you have like some kind of like around a similar date, or at least what month you plan to upload your first comeback video? I guess.
Great question. I honestly, I believe I'd like to. My goal is to have it before summer ends, and I know people start school differently at different times, but for us in Canada, myself in Canada, we go back in September, so before September. So that basically narrows it down to sometime in August. I'd like to get the video out.
All right. Let's hope he can do that. But
I hope so too.
yeah, it's definitely, I can understand it took a while, but obviously you appeared in the Super Nintendo World video by Crazy Mario Bros. Some people I think saw that one, but yeah, it's pretty. I mean, Chef Mario's been gone for 3 years. Where's that missing chef at? Hopefully we can see him in August.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Alright. Well, I think this might be a slightly more hypothetical question, but if you had to redo one of your plush videos, like your older ones, I guess, which one would it be and why?
Well, I did, funnily enough, as many people know, I remade 2 of my videos, or actually, technically 2, but I remade the lasagna video and the pizza video, so those were remastered. I was really happy about that. Those were, but if I had to remake another one, I would probably say I'd want to remake. That's a very difficult one because I like everything I've done after that. After those 2, like those were like the first beginning ones. I don't know what I would remake. I actually genuinely wouldn't know.
All right. Well, I mean that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, you just still get to remake certain older videos, and well, yeah, it is what it is. But well, obviously, due to your channel's success and uniqueness, your content is nostalgic to a good amount of people. I've seen a lot of people that I know say that they grew up watching you and got inspired to make their own plush videos. How do you feel after, reading all those comments on your community tab posts and videos and all that, saying that you're nostalgic to them, and seeing the impact we continue to leave on the plush community with your content?
Honestly, it makes my heart very happy. I'm so thrilled that I could pass on, almost like be the spiritual successor to, say, Cute Mario Bros, as they were inspiration to me. Just being the fact that I could be an inspiration for a new generation of plush tubers makes my heart really happy. Just knowing that, they're getting inspired and they're wanting to make videos. I love knowing that I can make people be creative and that, inspire them to be creative. I think that's so wonderful, and like I've always wanted to be a positive influence on YouTube, so seeing that really is great. Like I'm very happy about that, so knowing that always is something, one of the reasons why I want to come back and try to do more videos, and I don't want to step away from YouTube. Is just the sheer fact that I'm able to inspire so many people. That's what keeps me going.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you definitely inspire a lot of people. I mean, you can look for your comments and always see that people saying how nostalgic the Chef Mario videos are, and some of the other videos. It's just, I mean, it's definitely a very unique experience that I don't think a lot of people get to experience. But I mean, you get to, and I think a lot of people still do like your videos, so I hope you can come back successfully and still have a lot of fans waiting.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. But I think we can get to our last question that I asked to all of the guests, which is, what would you say to any aspiring content creators that want to be as popular as you?
Ooh, I would say don't give up. Definitely keep going, and just make sure you're doing this not for the subscribers, not for the money, not for the fame. Do this because you enjoy it. It's a passion. Let it be a passion first. Everything else will follow suit after that. It's just, if you focus on the statistics and focus on like a certain goal, which is nothing wrong with that. It's good to have goals, but if you make it your sole purpose, that will make you not happy. And I think comparing yourself to others is not good either. I know it's easy to get wrapped up in feeling like, oh, I don't have as many subscribers as this person, or this person surpassed me in subscribers or views or whatever. That can really get a person down. Or even just seeing people upload more consistently, it can get really messy sometimes for one's inspiration. So I recommend not letting that get to you. It's easier said than done, so of course I get it, but yeah, don't focus on those things. Do this because it's a passion, and have fun with it. And yeah, and also don't be afraid to collaborate with others. I think it's nice to always reach out to others, and yeah, never know what you can create. Big or small creators, it's good to have that common ground.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, as someone who can't upload that often, and I mean, I don't know how often I'll upload afterwards after this comes out, but you know, it definitely makes sense. Yeah, because you can see people, and you know, some can upload more often, some can upload less often, and you know, that makes sense. And you know, it's just that one thing. And I mean, if you can collaborate with people, if you have the opportunity to, I think you definitely should. Collab with your friends, make new friends in the community. I mean, I think this is kind of a collaborative project, the interviewing series, if you will. But yeah, I think those are some pretty good tips. Well, I think we can end the interview. Is there anything you want to say before we end the interview?
First off, I'll say thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate being here, and thanks to everyone who's been super patient with me being away for 3 years. I know that's a lot of time, but just know that good things happen to people who wait, and I promise to deliver some fun videos in the future. And again, just appreciating the support I've always had from everybody who's just giving me the time to figure things out. And yeah, I really appreciate it.
Alright, well, that was Super Mario 134, everyone.